Welcome to this experience called humble meditation. This experience is like other kinds of meditation, but with a helpful difference. During this experience, you will be prompted to complete mental exercises that not only foster relaxation and mindfulness, but also cultivate a particular state called humility. Humble people acknowledge their shortcomings and biases, as well as appreciate other people and perspectives. But more importantly, humble people tend to thrive. They experience wellbeing, resilience, confidence, and respect. So this experience will not only enhance your mood now, but will improve your well-being and life over an extended period. Some of these exercises might seem unusual, and some of these exercises might seem ineffective, but research has shown that all these activities are helpful. You don't need to memorize these activities. Simply experience these activities now. And if you want to apply these exercises in the future, even without the audio, you can use the prompts or reminders that accompany this audio. But before we foster this humility, we will commence with some exercises that cultivate a state of mindfulness, a state in which you observe the sounds in your environment, sensations in your body, or thoughts in your mind without judgment. So direct your attention to your breath. When you are ready, inhale slowly. Let the air fill your lungs. And then exhale slowly. Let the air escape from your lungs. Inhale again, and then exhale again. Notice how your stomach rises as you inhale and falls as you exhale. Rises as you inhale and falls as you exhale. If your mind wanders, do not be concerned. Just gradually shift your attention back to your breath. Now, while your eyes are still shut, silently name as many objects in your surroundings as you can. Perhaps commence with the objects in front of you. You may refer to the chair on which you are seated, a sprawling rug, the cold wooden floor beneath you, a pot plant in the corner, or an air conditioner behind you, humming gently. Then gradually rotate your attention to the objects to your right, to the objects behind you, and to the objects on your left. Afterwards, imagine you are sitting or lying near a stream with the warm or gentle sun bathing your face. The water in this stream cascades over some rocks and meanders around thick, lofty trees. Occasionally you notice some leaves drifting aimlessly down the stream. Now observe some of the thoughts, images, and memories that enter your head. Do not worry if these thoughts are good or bad, pleasant or unpleasant. Just observe these thoughts like an outsider, eavesdropping curiously. Imagine that each thought, image, or memory is written on one of the leaves that you see. For example, if you experience the thought, "This exercise seems strange," visualize these words on one leaf. If you remember a friend or relative from the past, imagine this person appearing on a leaf. And then allow these leaves to drift away with these thoughts, images, or memories. Do not worry if you're occasionally distracted. Just return to the image of these leaves, vanishing into the distance. We will now try an exercise called Titchener's repetition. Now perhaps consider some problem or concern in your life. Maybe you're worried about your health or your weight. Perhaps you are concerned about your work or boss. Then identify a word that corresponds to this problem or concern, such as weight, or boss, or anxiety. Soon, I will ask you to repeat this word about 40 times. If you are not alone, repeat this word in your mind, silently to yourself. But if you are alone, repeat this word aloud. So now repeat this word about 40 times, quite rapidly, like wait, 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 wait. And continue repeating this word. Wait, 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 wait. Notice how the word might seem unusual after a while. As you become aware of this unusual sound, the word may no longer evoke strong feelings or thoughts. The problem may not seem quite as intense. We will now attempt an unusual technique called tapping or emotional freedom. Now, imagine the point on your right hand that would hurt if you attempted to karate chop a table. And with the fingers of your left hand, tap this point continuously. Tap, 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 tap. As you tap this point, repeat to yourself silently, despite some of my problems, I deeply and completely accept myself. Despite some of my problems, I deeply and completely accept myself. Or you could replace the phrase, my problems, with a specific concern, like, despite some of my anxiety, I deeply and completely accept myself. Despite some of my anxiety, I deeply and completely accept myself. Now tap the point on your chin, just under your lip, as you again repeat to yourself something like, despite some of my problems, I deeply and completely accept myself. Tap, 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 tap. And we will continue this exercise, but we will tap other points. For example, now tap the point under your nose, but above your lips, and continue to repeat a phrase like, despite some of my problems, I deeply and completely accept myself. Now tap the point just under your left eye. Tap, 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 tap. Now tap the point just under your right eye. Despite some of my problems, I deeply and completely accept myself. Now tap the point just to the side of your left eye. Tap, 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 tap. Now tap the point just to the side of your right eye and continue to repeat your phrase. Then tap the point just under your left armpit with your right hand and repeat your phrase. And then finally, tap the point just under your right armpit with your other hand and repeat your phrase. If you remember other problems or concerns, tell yourself you can worry about this matter later, perhaps 4 p.m. on Friday night or 10 a.m. on Sunday morning. Indeed, whenever you remember some concern or problem, attempt to defer these worries to the same time each week. You do not need to worry now about these matters. You can solve these concerns later, when the time is right. And if ever a sequence of worries or concerns flood your awareness and distract your attention, called rumination, you could pinch yourself on your arm. Just for a few seconds, pinch quite hard. Pinch hard enough to feel some discomfort. When people deliberately evoke a moment of pain or discomfort, their worries tend to subside. They are not as inclined to ruminate uncontrollably. they can listen more effectively. Next, we will try a method called affect labeling. First, direct your attention to your forehead. Label any feelings or sensations you experience in your forehead. Does your forehead feel tight or relaxed? Is the tension in your forehead steady or wavering? Next, direct your attention to your cheeks. Are you experiencing any sensations in your cheeks? Do you feel heat or cold? Or perhaps nothing at all? Now attempt to label the sensations you feel in other parts of your body. Consider the back of your neck. Does your neck feel stiff or loose? Then try to label the feelings in your shoulders. Do not worry if you're not sure if your label is hazy or if your label is not even a legitimate word. Next, attempt to label the sensations in your arms, your hands, your chest, your lower back, your thighs, your calves, and your feet. And finally, attempt to label the emotion you currently feel overall. How do you feel now? What word or words best describe this feeling? This exercise not only promotes mindfulness, a state that tends to be helpful, but may also diminish the intensity of unpleasant sensations or feelings you might be experiencing. Unpleasant sensations or feelings, once labelled, do not feel quite as intense. Now, sometimes you can ascribe unpleasant feelings or thoughts to an untrustworthy, unsympathetic, or unlikable person in your life. Someone to whom you feel resentment. But as research shows, when people experience this resentment, or when they want someone else to suffer, their own happiness and well-being subsides. They feel unsatisfied rather than content. So to prevent this problem, recall someone in your life who you do not especially like, someone you might even resent. Now imagine a challenge or problem this person could reasonably have experienced in the past, either recently or years ago. Perhaps this person had lost a close friend. Perhaps this person had been scorned or teased mercilessly. Perhaps this person had watched a relative suffer immeasurably. Consider how this person might have suffered or grieved, perhaps intensely, in the aftermath of this problem. Imagine the turmoil they experienced. Next, consider why this person had behaved in a way that you did not like. Perhaps, because of this past suffering, this individual is suspicious and wary. Or maybe this person is ashamed of who they are and become aggressive in response to reminders of past failures. Regardless, these musings tend to diminish feelings of resentment. They lessen the need to seek revenge. They may even help you forgive, a state that has been shown to enhance both mental health and physical health. One technique that is more helpful is called love and kindness meditation. To illustrate, imagine a young child you know and like, perhaps a relative, neighbour, or even someone you have hardly met. Now imagine this child has committed some mistake, such as shattered a cup or dropped some paint by mistake, and is terrified they will be scolded. This child appears so afraid and so ashamed. Notice the compassion and warmth you feel towards this child. Imagine you could reassure and comfort this child with some kind words. You might say, "It's okay. Everyone commits mistakes. You cannot be perfect. You're still a good person." Now try to remember one of your own mistakes and regrets. Recall a time which you failed to achieve a goal, failed to treat someone well, or wish you had acted differently. Then imagine yourself as you imagine a child, a person who feels afraid or ashamed. Feel compassion and warmth towards this image of yourself. That is, project the compassion and warmth you experience before to you. And reassure this image of yourself with the same words as before, like, it's okay. Everyone commits mistakes. You can't be perfect. You're still a good person. You are now ready to project this feeling or compassion and warmth to other people. Imagine feeling this compassion and warmth towards a good friend or relative, someone you really like. Then shift this compassion and warmth towards an acquaintance. Imagine you care for this acquaintance. You want this acquaintance to thrive. And finally, shift this compassion and warmth towards a person you dislike. Imagine you care for this person too, and want this person to be happy. If you experience kind feelings to other individuals, even to someone you do not like, your well-being will tend to improve. But now shift your attention to someone in your life who is supportive rather than judgmental or critical. Someone who will accept you despite your shortcomings or mistakes. Then picture a scene in which you are disclosing to this person a problem or challenge you're experiencing, such as a problem at work or a conflict with a friend. Now imagine this person expressing a reassuring but optimistic response, beginning with your name, such as, John, you will be able to find a way to overcome this problem and thrive. Or, Mary, you will be able to resolve this conflict very soon. Hear their uplifting words in your mind. Feel comforted and reassured as you hear these words. And in response, imagine expressing a compliment to this person. You might say, I see you as a very understanding person, or you are really good at helping people, or some other compliment. As you relay this compliment, you recognize that both the person who receives this praise and the person who delivers this praise will feel significantly better than before, significantly better than anticipated. Now consider something in your life for which you are grateful and thankful. You might consider the friendship of this supportive person, or you might notice how some facet of your life is better than before. Afterwards, think about someone else you like, a colleague, friend, or really anyone you observed over time. Consider the strengths of this person. Specifically, identify one or more practices, habits, or behaviours of this person you admire. Choose a practice that you would like to try yourself, a behaviour you could occasionally emulate to some degree in the future. Perhaps you like how this person speaks to other individuals. Perhaps you like the warmth this person exudes. Imagine a time and location, as vividly as possible, in which you could attempt this practice, habit, or behaviour. Visualise the surroundings and the circumstances. Imagine yourself initiating or trialling this practice. Then repeat to yourself something like, whenever this circumstance arises, I will attempt this practice. For example, you might say, whenever I meet someone, I will smile warmly. And repeat this phrase once more. Continue to visualize the surroundings and circumstances as well as your behavior. And repeat this phrase again and again and again. This exercise is called an implementation intention. When you imagine the precise circumstances in which you will initiate some action, you are likely to feel the urge to perform this behaviour effortlessly and naturally at the right time and location. And perhaps you can now extend this image. Visualize yourself in in a job or role that you would like in the future. Maybe you're attending a meeting in which everyone is interested in your perspective. Or perhaps you are completing one of your favourite tasks in a supportive workplace. Do not worry if this image is a bit hazy at times. You may notice how you seamlessly apply the practice, habit, or behaviour you admired in the other person. Or you may notice other strengths you have developed, such as confidence or creativity. And finally, consider some of your faults or shortcomings, such as habits you would like to overcome or skills you have yet to develop. Perhaps you seem defensive when criticised. Maybe you are shy and awkward when meeting new people. Perhaps you do not praise other individuals enough. Next, visualise yourself as vividly as possible, acknowledging one of your faults or shortcomings to someone else, but with poise and confidence. Maybe, when interacting with a trusted friend, you might imagine yourself saying, "I can seem defensive when criticised, and so I will gradually address this concern over time." Refer to a specific concern, such as, "I can feel anxious with unfamiliar, unfriendly people," rather than a broad concern such as, "I do not interact well with people." This capacity to acknowledge some of your faults or shortcomings can be liberating. You will often feel more empowered rather than ashamed. You will feel confident and assured. Do not feel you need to disclose your doubts to everyone, however. You need some friends to whom you can be honest, and other friends to whom you can distract yourself from your worries.